What is going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're tuned in to a very special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, and I'm back at it, y'all, with another solo edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. It is currently 8:15 p.m. as I'm recording this episode on December the 22nd, 2023. And hey, the reason why it's a special edition of the HFWB podcast series, if you haven't figured it out by now, we're in the holiday season, right? And today is December the 22nd, 2023, and this episode will probably be coming out the next day, being tomorrow, Saturday, December the 23rd. And if you haven't figured it out by now, we're basically less than 3 days away from Christmas at this very point, which is just mind-boggling within itself. I'm sure you're probably out and about right now, probably doing some last-minute Christmas shopping, last-minute gift wrapping, trying to figure out, am I going to go out of town? Am I going to stay? Who am I going to spend Christmas with this year? Am I going to spend it with my family, my significant other one's family, for those who are currently like married and all that stuff? Or am I going to spend it, of course, with my kids, all that wonderful stuff? We're trying to get all these things put together at the last minute, and I'm pretty sure it's driving all of us crazy, probably borderline stressful for some. But in the end, when it comes to Christmas has a lot of meanings, but at the same time, it has a lot of dark history that a lot of people don't even know about. Some people like to tie Christmas to a lot of things, right? Like they like to tie it to Santa Claus. They like to tie it to, well, nowadays, people like to tie Christmas to now the Grinch, which is kind of weird. And I kind of don't understand how that transition took place. But then now people want to talk about, that people always refer to Christmas as the day that, Jesus Christ was born and everything through the Virgin Mary and all that stuff. Honestly, we're going to be debunking a whole bunch of those theories and reasonings for us celebrating Christmas, because a lot of it, I'm just going to be honest, a lot of it is just complete bullshit at this point, if you ask me, because when you grow up, I get it. We were taught all these things growing up within our families and everything. But sometimes you just got to take a step back, wake up, smell the coffee, and maybe do a little bit of research for yourself just to satisfy your own needs of why are we celebrating this exactly, or what's the point of this, so to speak. And over the last decade or so, I've kind of been doing that within itself. And that's why I want to kind of record this podcast episode to kind of give you like a brief overview of basically all the things that we kind of celebrate Christmas for, and what really the true meaning of Christmas really is. So I like to call this the good, the bad, and the ugly side of things in regards to Christmas. Now, I'm going to start with the good about Christmas. Yes, when it comes to Christmas, it's like, hey, good times, family, get to spend time with the family more, get to spend time with maybe your friends, get to spend time with your significant other ones, you get to spend time with your children for those who are parents, you get to have a nice gathering, right, in a wonderful, warm, or even cool home for those living in South Texas right now, because it never really gets cold, but that's a whole nother story. You get to celebrate, just getting together, getting to exchange gifts, celebrate the gifts that good old Santa Claus brought, right? I'm going to start with that one first and foremost, because it's kind of funny. And then you just bring everything all together, and have a wonderful, wonderful time. But honestly, when I look at all the things in regards to Christmas, people like to say that Santa Claus brought all the gifts. People like to say that people like to celebrate Christmas because they say that's when Jesus Christ was born on Christmas, coming through the Virgin Mary, that whole story that we were all told growing up, going to the midnight masses and all that kind of stuff, celebrating the season of Advent for those who are in Christianity and all that stuff. And by the way, the Christians are probably going to hate me for all the stuff that I'm about to say within this episode of the HFWB Podcast Series. There's a lot that I can break down within this episode, but then again, I would have to I would be going on for hours and hours and hours and stuff like that. But in regards to all those things, for whatever reason why you celebrate Christmas, if you truly, believe in Santa Claus, cool. If you truly believe that Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day, cool. I'm not going to argue with you, but I am going to tell you that you're wrong and that you need to wake up and that you need to smell the coffee and that you need to grow up a little bit. And most importantly, you really, really need to do some research because, again, yes, Christmas is a wonderful time. It's about, showing love to one another. And at the same time, it's just, being in a nice, jolly spirit. And don't get me wrong, I'm in a very jolly spirit. But at the same time, I'm open and honest and within my communication to y'all. And I feel like if I'm not, I feel like I would be cheating not only myself, but I will be cheating you, the people, as well. And it's like, growing up as a kid, I'm not going to lie, Christmas still is to a certain extent my favorite holiday just because of the time of year and stuff like that. That lets me know that we're getting ready to close out another year and then get ready to transition into a new year and stuff like that. And my reasoning for loving Christmas was just like everybody else, as a kid. Hey, I used to love getting all those presents. I used to love playing with my toys or getting to experiment with my gifts and stuff like that. But now as I got older, I realized that Christmas was more just about spending time with the people that you love and care about the most. And of course, just participating in just giving and receiving really just love. Because at the end of the day, Christmas comes back to love. There's a reason why they say, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Merry means a happy Christmas, a wonderful Christmas, a great Christmas, just a Christmas that's just filled with so much joy that it remains permanent within your heart, within your mind, to where you'll never forget the exact experience that you're going through within itself and stuff. And it's like, hey, that's kind of like the good thing about Christmas. And it still is to this very day for myself personally. But for me, Christmas isn't really about the gifts anymore because I feel like I have everything that I need currently at this moment. I would not be disappointed if I didn't get one single present this year for Christmas. That's just me, as long as I get to spend time, with my mom, with my dad, with the love of my life, Miss Emily Espinosa, and some of her family and stuff, I'm good. And at the end of the day, with me being such a sports fanatic, Christmas is, especially within the last decade or so, has been more about me celebrating the fact that my Los Angeles Lakers, my favorite basketball team currently in the NBA, they play every year on Christmas Day. So really, that's kind of like my Christmas present, really, personally, is just watching the Los Angeles Lakers play whoever they play any year and hoping that they can win a game. That would make my Christmas pretty much special every given time. But overall, that's kind of like the good side about Christmas and stuff. And again, I'm going to break this down bit by bit by bit. I mean, do y'all really know where Christmas even started? Do y'all even know why you're celebrating it or how it even became together? Let me break down the origin of Christmas based off of some research that I did here for y'all, Based on the origins of Christmas, they say it stems from both, pagan and Roman cultures. The Romans actually celebrated like two holidays in the month of December. I don't know if you knew that or not. The first was Saturnalia, which was basically like a 2-week festival honoring their god of agriculture, Saturn. So basically, that's part of it. And on December 25th, which is 3 days away, now being 2 days for those who are currently listening to this episode that's going to release tomorrow and all on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and on all podcast streaming platforms. The Romans this is the Romans now, they celebrate the birth of Myrtha, which is the sun god. Both celebrations were basically ruckus, drunken parties. So basically, the origins of Christmas was basically a bunch of Romans getting together to get drunk and celebrate two different gods, one based off of agriculture and one based off of the sun. That's kind of like the origin and somewhat of the broken down nucleus of what Christmas really was. And ironically enough, it's in December, in which the darkest day of the year falls. That's when, pagan cultures, as they called it, they lit bonfires, candles to keep the darkness at bay and all that wonderful stuff. And then basically the Romans took from the pagans, incorporated that into their traditions within their own celebrations while they were getting drunk, worshiping an agriculture god and a sun god, which I think is just personally stupid because there's only one God. There isn't multiple gods. Maybe there is, but I'm not buying any of that bullshit until I see it for myself and believe it within myself. But that's just me personally. But other than that, as Christianity, which kind of overtook everything as far as the whole Christmas traditions, which is why they like to say, hey, Jesus Christ was born on December 25th. That's also bullshit. And I'm going to explain why in just a little bit. But because let me just explain it right now. No one knows when Jesus Christ was born. For those who celebrate Christmas due to, quote unquote, Jesus Christ being born on Christmas Day through the Virgin Mary, stop it. It's all lies. It's all a facade, and it's complete bullshit. That's all I'm going to say in regards to that, because it's like no one knows when Jesus Christ was born. I've actually looked into this myself a few years back. Jesus was born somewhere. They say he was born somewhere in between like June and July or something like that, which is weird. And even then, I don't even know if that's true or not. But I know he wasn't born on no damn December 25th. I could tell you that right now. Sorry, Christians. I'm sorry if I messed up your midnight mass and I messed up your season of Advent. Trust me, been there, done that. I grew up within the church system too. I went through the whole process, getting baptized, getting my Holy Communion. I'm not going to lie, I haven't gotten confirmed through the Catholic Church because I didn't want to go through the whole entire system, because I took a step back and realized, like, what am I doing this for again? And then I just said, to hell with it for the most part. Maybe I'll go back and finish what I started. Maybe not. Who knows? But that's a whole nother story again. But anyways, the whole pagan ritual and everything, it basically turned into this quote-unquote celebration of the quote-unquote birthday of Jesus Christ. Again, calling bullshit on that because there's been plenty of research that has been proven that that's exactly not the case, as him being born on Christmas Day, December 25th, and all that wonderful stuff. That's just the origin part about Christmas. People want to talk about, oh, yes, all praise baby Jesus. He has been born on Christmas. No, he hasn't. We don't know when he was born. We just know that he was born at some point. He lived a regular life. He was very in tune with his consciousness, the higher powers, which is why he was telling everybody he was the Son of God, because he felt the Spirit of God within him as far as communicating with this higher subconscious levels within his overall journey and stuff like that. And another thing that I wanted to point out and everything in regards to like Christmas and everything, one thing that kind of pisses me off every year about Christmas is that we really are going to sit here and walk around wearing Santa Claus hats and all the Santa Claus gear and stuff, acting like Santa Claus actually existed. I mean, he existed, but at the same time, he really didn't exist the way that people think that he existed. Let me tell you some more things that I did as far as a little bit of research as far as on Santa Claus. Santa Claus was basically inspired by Saint Nicholas. And basically, yes, there's Christian roots a little bit on this one. I mean, Saint Nicholas, he was basically born in like southern Turkey around 280. Basically, he was a bishop in the early Christian church, and he basically suffered persecution and imprisonment for his faith. Came from a wealthy family. He was always renounced because of his generosity and stuff like that. So, and all that wonderful and all that stuff. And legend has it, now this is a legend, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is based off of the research I did. Apparently, he used to go around tossing gold through an open window into the home, thus saving them from their fate, saving them for their fate and all that. And the gold that landed in a sock drying by the fire, basically children started hanging up those stockings by the fire in hopes that St. Nicholas would toss gifts to them. So basically all because St. Nicholas went around tossing gold into people's houses just so they can be saved from their own faith, you know, that's where the Christian roots come in, right? Then it basically, the kids would grab these little pieces of gold that was landed in the sock, and then they would hang the stockings by the fire and hang it by the Christmas tree, hoping that St. Nicholas would bring gifts to them, not knowing that their parents will be the ones having to provide the gifts for them. Fast forward to now, all the parents who have kids, it makes me question them really as parents, to be completely honest, because this is just me speaking from the outside looking in. If you have to tell your kids that Santa Claus is real, you're basically showing an example of being a bad, lazy ass parent because you don't want to tell the truth to your kids, because maybe the kids will maybe understand it, maybe they won't, maybe it'll crush their whole spirit, maybe it'll help them, they'll thank you later for it. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to say it right now for everybody who's listening into the HFWB Podcast Series currently, this 2023 Christmas edition, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Christmas. Santa Claus is fake. He always has been fake. There's no overweight man with a beard riding around on a damn sleigh with the 12 reindeers going down chimneys with his fat ass. He could probably barely fit in the chimney even if he was real, coming to deliver presents underneath the Christmas tree. That is utter bullshit. And if you believe that, then you are just a stupid motherfucker for believing that. So that's just my personal opinion on it. If you hate me for that, oh well, you need to learn how to accept the truth for what it is, and you need to grow up, and you need to wake up and smell the coffee on that one. That's my little mini rant on the whole Santa Claus theory. Yeah, Santa Claus is fake. Santa Claus is fake. Santa Claus is fake. I said it 3 times just so I can get it through everybody's ears for those who are currently listening to the HFWB Podcast Series, this episode in particular. Now, I will say this, though. St. Nicholas, and you want to know what's something even funnier about that? When he died, did you know that December the 6th, not the 25th, was declared St. Nicholas Day? So that makes you wonder, why aren't we celebrating Christmas on December the 6th when they declared it St. Nicholas Day instead of December 25th? But hey, that's a whole nother conversation. But anyways, I can go on and on and on and on. And it's like, here's another thing that people don't even talk about in regards to Christmas. Why the hell do we put Christmas trees into our house just to celebrate Christmas? Here's a reason why, in which the research I did as well. Because I'm gonna peel the onion back layer by layer on this. I'm just getting started on this. As part of the solstice celebrations, right? These little pagan cultures, which is all a bunch of bullshit too. These pagan cultures decorated their homes with greens in anticipation of the spring to come. Evergreen trees, they remained green during the coldest and darkest days, which are in December, like I alluded to earlier. So they were thought to hold special powers. So basically, we put Christmas trees into our house, basically anticipating spring to come and for it to give special powers to get us through the coldest and darkest times of the year and stuff. I mean, I guess that sounds a little bit mythical if you ask me, and honestly, I don't understand it. But if you want to know where that tree tradition came from, I mean, it hails from Northern Europe, where Germanic pagan tribes, of course, like I mentioned, decorated these evergreen trees in worship of the god Woden with candles and dry fruit. And the tradition was incorporated into the Christian faith. See how pagan and Christian, they all got mixed up. And that's when it's like, oh, we're just going to put all this together and we're going to combine it and be like, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. But honestly, that's pretty much the history of Christmas trees. So if you really look at it, look how I just broke all of this down. Basically based off of celebrating all these different gods of agriculture, the sun god, the god of wooden, or whatever that is. It's like, I don't get how all this came together and how all this got mixed together and stirred into a pot and everything. But it's just really stupid. It really is. In regards to that, not the actual celebration itself of Christmas. I mean, but it kind of goes hand in hand to a certain extent. It really does sound like I'm not in the Christmas spirit, but I really am. I'm just trying to tell the truth about why we celebrate Christmas, or what Christmas really, really is about, and what it really, really stands for. And at the same time, people don't even realize that here in America, Christmas was so controversial that it was being banned like in the 1600s, maybe up to the 1700s. And honestly, it wasn't even until the 1800s until American Christmas began to take shape to what it is to this very day. So if you really look at it, prior to like 1800, Christmas in America was so controversial, it wasn't even celebrated. Matter of fact, it was banned almost. So it's like, let that sink in for a little bit. That should let you know how dark Christmas really is, ironically enough. But I just want to speak my truth about that based off of the research I did on myself. And you can look this up too if you think that I'm lying, and if you think I'm just talking a bunch of nonsense. This is Googleable information. Type it in. Google is your friend. Do your research. Wake up. Smell the coffee. Still celebrate the day. Don't get me wrong. Enjoy the time with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and all that. But just don't be buying into all the bullshit and buying into all the lies that you basically grew up knowing and everything. Sometimes you got to step back and just realize things for what it is, y'all. That's all that I'm saying. And one last thing I'm going to say about Christmas that's really going to probably piss a lot of people off, but it's pretty much the truth. Christmas really goes back to us practicing one of the 7 deadly sins, which is greed, that excessiveness of just wanting that material wealth and stuff like that. And or material things, I should say, not material wealth, material things. I do apologize. And it's funny because we use artificial wealth, cash, credit cards, coins. Well, not really coins, more cash and credit cards more than ever these days. And I guess you could say Cash App, maybe cryptocurrency for all I know at this point. And it's going to probably go digital when it comes to that. But we utilize all those things just so we can get the material things, the quote unquote, the natural wealth, I guess you could say the material things. Well, I wouldn't call material things natural, so to speak, but you get where I'm going with this. It's like, Christmas just goes back to greed. It really does. Because we're feeding into all these big time corporations. We're helping them get richer while we are basically going damn near broke by Christmas Eve because we done spent every bit of our last dollar feeding into all these corporations that are promoting all these big sales and promoting all these special items that you can't pass up and that it's a deal that you couldn't refuse and all that stuff. And it's like, man, People need to wake up and smell the coffee, to why we really celebrate Christmas and all that stuff. But honestly, though, it's like that's kind of pretty much what it is as far as like the good, the bad, and the ugly about Christmas. And again, I can go a whole lot deeper in regards to this. I don't want to dwell too much on it. I want to kind of paint the picture and give you like the best brief overview and summary as far as what Christmas really is and what it really does stand for. But with that being said, what are my plans this year for Christmas for those who are listening to the HFWB Podcast Series? Absolutely nothing. I'm just going to be spending time with the love of my life, Emily Espinosa. I'm probably going to go visit my mom, go visit my dad, eat some good food, have maybe a couple of nice cold, refreshing alcohol beverages. I may inhale some really, really good cannabis in the process, aka smoke some weed. There's nothing wrong with that. Why not smoke some weed on Christmas, right? And just really just enjoy just the moment of the day and just being grateful really for another day, because Christmas this year falls on a Monday, which is just odd. I look at Christmas at this point as just another day to me, and I'm just, grateful just to be able to see another day and experience another holiday, because it's not guaranteed for everybody. This could be your last Christmas and you may not even know it yet. So I'm going to embrace the moment because, hey, this could be the last one. This may not be. So take it one day at a time. Take it one step at a time. My message for Christmas, as far as from a health, fitness, wealth, business standpoint, is just look for new ways just to improve your overall health. Look for new ways to where you can train your mind and continue to strengthen your mind. Look for new ways to where you can physically grow your body as far as just improving within overall basic primal pattern movements, as far as, without any pain, dysfunction, or compromise or anything. Utilize Christmas as far as just to figure out ways on how you can use time and information to your advantage, to where you can in return create new forms of natural wealth, to where, the artificial wealth gets sprinkled in on top of the natural wealth to kind of balance everything out to a certain extent. And just use the opportunity to just reflect on basically yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and realize, what am I doing as far as to be worthy of love? Are you being open to giving and receiving love? And most importantly, are you loving yourself unconditionally? Because if you're not loving yourself unconditionally, how are you going to love others unconditionally? If you're not willing to give love, how do you expect to receive love? And how are you going to be worthy of love if you don't even love yourself to begin with? Think about those things this year for Christmas. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for listening to this very special, unusual, potential controversial edition of the HFWB Podcast Series, the 2023 Christmas edition. I like to call the good, the bad, the ugly about Christmas, part 1. God willing, part 2 will probably come out this time next year, to where I'm going to dive into all the exact things that I just talked about a little bit more into details. And we're really going to break it down a little bit. I kind of just gave y'all a little bit of a preview. Well, not really a preview, more of like a brief overview and a brief summary. But I'm going to kind of break down maybe the details a little bit more, maybe next year. Who knows? God willing. But other than that, I had to throw that information out there for y'all. And y'all could agree with me. Y'all could disagree with me. That's completely fine. I just want to have a conversation about this. Just a nice open-minded conversation with respect, with courtesy, And hey, for those who are listening to the HFWB Podcast Series, man, y'all need to like this episode. Y'all need to stream this episode. Y'all need to download this episode. Not just this episode, all the episodes of the HFWB Podcast Series. I mean, we're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, anywhere you can basically play a podcast. You can download and stream all episodes of the HFWB Podcast Series. I appreciate all the support, and be sure to subscribe to the HFWB Podcast Series. Leave a comment, leave a review. That means a lot because that will get more people in tune with all the information that I provide. And it's like I say, information is the new money, because the more informed and educated you are, the more likely you are to grow through what you go through in order to get those resources that you need that are essential for overall living and overall survival. So be sure to do that. Y'all continue to visit the website healthfitnesswealthbusiness.com/CP. I made some updates on the website a few days ago and stuff, so be sure to check that out as well. Y'all be sure to like me on all my social media platforms, y'all. Y'all follow me, of course, on my personal page, my name, Clifton Pope, and make sure to follow the Health Fitness Wealth Business page on Facebook, y'all. All lowercase, Health Fitness Wealth Business, all lowercase. You can follow the official page on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, review all my content. Be sure to leave a comments, reviews, all that stuff. That way we can get some conversations going. But keep it friendly, keep it cordial, and be respectful. That's all that I ask, and I will provide y'all that very same thing right back to y'all. Subscribe to that YouTube channel, search Health Fitness Wealth Business, all lowercase, and hit that subscribe button. Y'all follow me on Instagram at cpope, that's all lowercase, CPOPE_44. Y'all follow me on TikTok as well at HealthF. That's HEALTH, the letter F, wealth, WEALTH, the letter B, .CP. Y'all follow me on TikTok for all my daily motivational TikTok reels to keep y'all motivated, uplifted, empowered, inspired. And yeah, man, I just appreciate y'all just for taking time just to show love to the HFWB Podcast Series. Everything's been going good, you know. I mean, I'm just glad that I'm feeling a whole lot better from being sick earlier this week. And now that I have the energy right, I'm delivering this HFWB Podcast Series episode to y'all. Be sure to just, again, download and stream all episodes of the HFWB Podcast Series. Follow me on all my social media handles that I just mentioned. And oh yeah, be sure to buy a copy of What's Wealth Without Work and Dollar in a Vision. They're both available on Amazon, my 2 self-published books. Be sure to go to udemy.com, that's UDEMY.com, to enroll in my Hustle and Motivate Entrepreneurship course to start off your new year right of 2024, which is literally right around the corner. And at the same time, what else am I missing? For those who are interested in signing up for my personal training program, you can give me a call personally at 361-765-4760, or you can shoot an email actually to me at all lowercase cpope.cp@gmail.com. That's CPOPE.cp@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We can set up a free one-on-one consultation, put together a right program for you based on what kind of results you're trying to achieve. And y'all message me for that CMOS gel as well. That way I can get y'all taken care of as far as helping you consume 92 of the 102 vitamins and minerals that the body overall needs. And you also need to get on these transnut products as well. You could get in contact with myself. You can get in contact with the love of my life, Miss Emily Espinosa. She's also on Facebook. She's also on Instagram. She's also on TikTok. Get in touch with either one of us. That way we can get you on track with products and everything to get you on the right track. And yeah, with that being said, this is yours truly, Clifton Pope, Health, Fitness, Wealth Business founder and CEO, signing out on another special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. And I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas. Enjoy it the best way to how you know how to celebrate it to the best of your abilities. Y'all stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Peace and love, y'all.